Okay, so now what I want to do. I want to go in and lay out the UVs on this beast. So, to grab the UVs, let's just do it all at once here. I'm just going to grab all these objects and I'm going to assign a Lambert. I typically like to lay out UVs with a Lambert on. And I'm going to go here to color, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit this with a file texture, and right there. And I've got a grid online, or that I got for online here, open, that I really, really like. Okay, I can't see it because I haven't hit 6. And we can see that things are troubled. Okay, there's a lot of distortion going on. First thing, let's hit 1 so we see a little bit less. And I'm going to isolate this puppy here. And some things. The UV editor, this is 2017. There's a few problems in here. So, that I'm not crazy about. Okay, I don't like this thing. That drives me crazy. This thing was working better in the previous version before they did all these crazy updates. But what I'm going to do is, if you want to do this like the classic way of laying out UVs, a lot of people find comfort in doing something like using the UV automatic mapping. Okay, so you can hit it with automatic. Make sure that you freeze the transformation. So modify, freeze transformations. And come on, freeze them. And because those scale values do funny things to a lot of these UV options, and it does it in the UV editor too. And also, I'm just going to delete the history. And I don't have any history on this thing anyway. I already got rid of it. But just something I do. Okay. Actually, that's weird. How come that's popping back up again when I hit that button? Okay. Well, I'm not going to complain. There is a UV grid here. I don't tend to like this because sometimes you can't tell if something's really distorting because it's black and white and you can't really, I don't know, can't really see it. I like this. It's noisy. I can see stretched pixels on this. There's a dim image button and you can slide. I like that feature. That's a new one. That's cool. Make it even dimmer if you want to. But there, that's a little bit of the prep and what I like and what I don't like. There is another thing I don't like. How about this? This button here. This button here gives us the texture borders. Okay, so it's texture borders. And then we're seeing the texture borders here, but not here. This is something they clean up in 2018, but we're in 2017. So I want to see those texture borders on this freaking model here. And I don't see them. So under display, polygons, it's sitting right here. If you hold down Control and Shift, you can make that a button on your keyboard. And if I do that again, I can also put an edge width button right there. Now let's move this down a little bit so you can see it. There's the texture borders button. And there's the EU button. And I can make my edge width bigger, easier to see for my old man eyes. Okay? Old mine eyes. Old man eyes. Sounds like mayonnaise. Okay, whatever. So, I've got this. And I'm happy and I know it. Now, again, the classic way to do this is to go in and use automatic. And then, again, what I always do is I grab all the UVs and then I move them out. And I move them in piece by piece as I'm happy with things. I'll do things like... let's grab this one, double click. And actually that's that piece up there. That's going to be a trickier piece, so I'm going to leave that one out for now. What about this one? This one looks like one of those pieces. And that one there. And I can take these pieces and, let's see, those just hit F. And I'll put this over here. And if I look, I can go in and select these edges. And like I said, some people feel more comfortable with this. Oh, that's the wrong edge. That's to another piece that's over here, someplace right over here. And if I hit it with cut and sew, move and sew, the big piece stays stationary, and the little piece moves over to the big piece. Okay, and I can go in here and I can do a few of these just so that people know. Move and sew. Also, these menus here, there's just too many options now. I don't use all of them. The faster way to do this is to hold down Shift and you right click, and there's Move and Sew. Okay, and I can do that again, and I'll hold down Shift, right click, Move and Sew, and that piece comes right over. And maybe I don't like how these edges are cut right here, so if I do something like this and I deselect, or I can go in here and I think I can double click, and I get it. And then I can Shift, right click, cut. And then I'll grab these ones here and then I'll sew. Oh, damn it, what was I thinking? Take these ones here, whoop, and I'll use the Shift, right click, Move and Sew, and it moves over. And if I take a look when I hit 6, you can see these are all joined together. And I could spend a lot of time doing that. I can also do things like, if I want to join some of these pieces together really, really fast, what if I grab all these faces right here? Okay. And if I took the UV and I did a cylindrical map, okay, I can go in and grab the little handles here and wrap it around and do something like this, and you'll see that I can slowly, there, I can get it so it's relatively even. There might be a few problems here and there, but it's because it's cylindrical I can do stuff like that, and that also keeps it nice and straight. There might be some warps with the things that I'm going to show you in a second, but those are some basics to know about, and then I got to rearrange them all in here in the UV editor. But what I do, my way of doing it, what are we at, 641? Okay, I'm going to go in to UVs and I'm going to hit it with camera based. I'm just going to double check and make sure I don't have the UV set on. Make sure you leave this off until I explain this thing and tricks you can do with it. There. Okay, so I got that, and then what I do is I look and I try to determine where I should be cutting this thing. And so maybe down here, let's start here first. I'll get that edge, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit 5 so I can see what I'm looking at. Double click. What do I do that? Double click. And the way that I model this, it's got some really nice edge loops, so it makes this all easy for me to go in and select where I'm cutting. I'm usually looking for areas where it kind of bends. Think about gift wrapping. Think about being a taxidermist. Think about clothing and being a seamstress or a seamster, whichever fits. And there, that loop goes right around that whole thing. And what about this one? And that's looking fine. And I'll take that one. Damn it! I missed. Look luck. Damn it! Undo. Undo. And if I hold down Shift and double click, there, I got it. And is there any that I missed? I got that one, that one, that one. Oh, and I got to do there. And probably there. Okay, great. And so I just taken and I've selected all the seams that I think all the seams that seem right. And I'll just go ahead and I'll hit cut. And then if I grab all of my UVs and I go to modify, unfold, the hotkey is Control U, and I can make sure that unfold 3D is on. We can put on pack. It doesn't really matter right now. Pack, when you're doing individual parts of this, okay, when you have to rework a part or something, that's when I turn pack off. But apply and close. There, I cut it all up, and do I see anything that looks funny? There's this looks funny here. Some of these pieces I might join together just because it would make things better. Like, what if I looked at these cuts that I made here? I can just go back and grab that edge, and I'll just hold down Shift, grab that one, deselect, deselect, and then I can use that move and sew. There's that piece is joined together. What about this one? I grab these two here, deselect, and I'll use move and sew, and that moved it off and sewed it over here. So what the hell's that thing? Is that one of those pieces over there? They're not unfolding very nicely. No, I don't like that. If I go over and I do something like this, just got my move tool on to figure out where the hell I am. Oh, it's that one there. Yeah, so it's those two pieces there. So if I go in here and I grab those and deselect, and then I go and I hit move and sew. Move and sew isn't going to move anything because they're one piece, but still works. I could just hit so and that'll do it too. Okay, let's try it again. Grab everything and I'll hit modify unfold. Yay! Now there's one other function here. This used to give me a fairly good result for layout, but that's changed. So I'm going to go here to modify layout. And the unfold 3D option here I don't tend to like. I like the legacy, and I like it to be on world. And I'll put it, make it free, rotate free, and I'll hit apply. And it does a pretty good job of laying things out. And if your UVs are inverted, it flips it. That's why I don't like the unfold 3D. And as well, the legacy automatically gives me some space along the freaking edge here, which you have to set up in the unfold 3D. So I've got this set up, and I could go in here and move things around and get myself some better texture real estate. I'm going to skip over that for now. If you want to turn some things, like sometimes you'll find that, like for instance here, if I take this thing, okay, maybe I want to flip that so it's easier to kind of visually read over here. Like, because it's, you know, typically you might stare at it straight up and down, so it makes sense to texture it if it was kind of sitting like, let's hold down J, like that. Okay, and same thing with this one here. If I hold down J, I can rotate it. A long time ago, they used to have buttons across here, and they've moved them, and they've hid them down here in the transform, and I have to, you know, there it is right there, and you can rotate around 90 degrees by default, or change it to whatever you want. And I've tried to move them up here to the shelf, but I couldn't figure it out how to do it. I thought I did at one point, and then I don't know, middle click, drag and drop, no, it won't let me do that. And here, let's go back. Oh, crap. Hold down J. Okay. And also, too, be aware that when you hold down J to rotate when you're in here, occasionally that'll trigger on the snap step, and it'll get locked on, and then you have to make sure you know to come in here and turn them off, as well as over here on your tools on the side. Annoying little things you have to get used to. Let's take this one. I'm just going to rotate that and double-click. Rotate that. It's not quite on 100%. I wouldn't mind having a little bit better layout on this, but again, I'm trying to go fast. The hell's that? Oh, there's got to be one of those pieces down there. Okay, it's got to be an inner piece. So, I'm happy and I know it. And I could grab everything, and when I go back to the modify layout, and by the way, I might just put some of these buttons on my shelf, because I can hold down Control-Shift, cut, so, move and so. Then there's modify, I'll have the unfold on here, and layout. And you also used to be able to right click and on these buttons, and it would open up the options, and that option is gone. So I have to go in and do this, go down the menu and know where this is. I'm just going to change the prescale to none, because we've already prescaled, and I'm going to turn the rotate to none. So now when I apply, they'll all try to keep that same orientation that I had set up. And I feel like, again, I could do some more work in rearranging, but I'm going to skip that. And if I take a look when I hit 6, there, it's working. And what are we at? 13 minutes. Okay, so I've done a lot of explaining in here. Also, too, something else to be aware of, when I hit 3, it's going to smooth it. And here, I'm just going to... is there anything else in here I have to show? I think I've shown the things that drive me the most nuts. Okay, I'm just going to delete my history. And I'll just point out that this crap happens, okay? And when this crap happens, maybe I don't have enough edge loops to support this, but there's some problems here. If you go into the attribute editor, you can go right into the smooth mesh options, into the open subdiv controls, Catmull Clark, turn it to preserve edges, and boom, it's fixed. Okay? So there, I've fixed that option. Anything else you need to know? I'll leave it at that for now. And should I stop the video? I'll do the other 2 pieces in the next video. Actually, what time is it? Maybe I will do the rest of those tomorrow. Okay, I'll stop here.